We're back again, folks, today to look at the Ion Pro from Storm Bowling. This is the benchmark ball reinvented, if you've seen any of the Storm media, and it does have a really nice, smooth, controllable shape in a medium hook potential package that I am a big fan of initially here. The mild asymmetry that this core has does seem to make it a little more responsive and a little bit quicker down lane. Overall, I can see this being really useful because it sort of splits the difference between if I were going to start on a bigger asymmetrical ball on more of a cliffed up house shot with a lot of ratio, with a bunch of oil in the middle part of the lane and a lot of friction to the right to kind of blend out a condition like that. Or if I was going to start in something like an IQ Tour or a Phase 2 on a condition that's a little more medium volume and a little more blended in general. The Ion Pro feels asymmetrical and responsive enough that I would be able to blend out that cliffed shot pretty effectively and not have to be super deep or really hook in the lane early. But it does also feel like it doesn't flare a ton, so if I wanted to throw it on the blended condition, maybe as like a 2-ball when I had to move in and get across it a little more, this would be a really good option too. Paired, of course, with the TX16 hybrid cover, it is a touch cleaner than the IQ Tour Solid for me, but it doesn't feel as clean and sharp as the IQ Ruby feels for me. On something more blended or flatter, I could see myself starting in an IQ Tour or even a Hustle Rip, depending on how right I really wanted to start. And then as I migrate in, going to this ball, the Ion Pro, before I get into my IQ Ruby or my cleaner symmetrical stuff that is polished or pearlized. I can also see myself starting in this ball on a little bit more of a cliffed up condition and then getting into something like the Absolute Power or something that I would use that's a little blendier as I had to move in. But this ball would let me get around like that 12-13 spot even and get my angles pretty in front of me. And that tends to work better for me. The straighter I can start on those clipped conditions, typically the longer I can kind of keep the pocket in play. First up for comparison, we have the IQ Tour. Like I mentioned, I would probably use the Ion Pro behind the IQ Tour because I do have it a little cleaner and quite a bit quicker off the spot. You can see the IQ Tour does pick up a little earlier. I do keep mine fairly dull. It's probably at 1500 grit or 2000 grit. In this video where my Ion Pro is about 3000 grit and then some lane shine from warming up with it. The hybrid cover that's on the Ion Pro did seem to shine up pretty quickly compared to the solid cover that's on my IQ Tour. But you can see the IQ Tour's earlier, rounder, smoother overall. One thing about the Ion Pro is that it does have AI core technology that tends to bring the hook phase a little closer to me and make it last a little bit longer. So the ball's hooking for a longer period of time. It tends to also keep its axis a little more. So again, that lends itself to going left to right and getting across the lane. For me, my biggest problem when I have to get in is my ball shooting through it or my ball getting forward too quickly. The AI stuff solves both of those problems for me because it's really tough for me to shoot it through the spot, and they also do keep hooking enough that they get through the pins the right way as I get deeper. I almost see this as like a baby UC2 type of ball. I had my UC2s a little bit earlier, smoother. I liked them pinned down on a little bit smoother layout. And so this ball, it's a little bit different way of getting there because the cover's a touch stronger formula overall, but the core is a touch weaker. But this is kind of where I'm going to use that Ion Pro is in that same spot I would use a Rubicon UC2. The next ball we're going to look at for comparison is the Optimum Idol. Now this one has quite a bit more differential than the IQ Tour and the Ion Pro, and we're really going to see what that does to ball motion. The Idol is also another AI core ball, and so again we'll see more of an apples to apples comparison with that technology featured in the Ion Pro and the Idol, as that hook phase is earlier and overall lasts a little bit longer. I could probably use the Optimum Idol on fresh. Again, I keep mine probably 2000, 3000 grit. I like these symmetrical solids with a little bit of surface on them because I tend to throw them on fresh. I could step down to the Ion Pro as they cliffed up, or I had to move in and open my angles up and get something that's a little bit quicker, more responsive, but overall still really smooth and predictable. The Ion Pro is available June 21st. You can come see me at Balls of Fame Pro Shops or go to your local Storm VIP Pro Shop and order yours now. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.